Hello everyone, welcome to Thoughts Cafe. We launched our first talk show on October 17th and it was a super hit. So today we decided to launch our YouTube channel and the topic that we chose to launch is Mind Chatter. Now this is especially relevant to all our friends who couldn't join us live on our talk show on October 17th. So today I have with me Vandana, who's the subject matter expert and who did the talk show on October 17th. So Vandana, welcome to Thoughts Cafe.
Thank you, Sindhu.
So let's delve straight into the topic. What according to you is Mind Chatter?
First, I would like to say hello to everyone. And this is one of the relevant, best topic to discuss.
Yes.
According to me, the mind chatter, the best part of being human is that we love to think. We think about what we think, our situations. We think about what others think, their situations. So this continuous internal mono-dialogue that starts from the time we wake up until we go back to sleep can be called as mind chatter. In Buddhist principles, this is often referred to as the monkey mind, which creates messy, unpleasant, jumpy thoughts. And what we try to do with it is that we try to suppress it, we try to ignore it. Sometimes it becomes so intense, the mind chattering becomes so intense that it doesn't help us do anything.
Okay.
So
that means
yes.
you can also say that, according to the Buddhists were wise. So I guess they called it the monkey mind because it is not one continuous thought and it can also shift topics.
Yes.
It can, so it's basically thoughts which come one after the other, continuous thoughts.
Yes.
Okay. Now that we know what is mind chatter, let's understand from Vandana whether mind chatter is positive, negative or both.
Mind chatter can be both positive and negative.
Okay.
For example, and it depends on the situation. For example, if we are planning a surprise party for our loved ones, what happens is our chattering becomes very positive and creative.
And we are excited.
We are so excited that it motivates us. We become very confident. We start exploring new different ways to make our loved ones happy. So till the situation comes, the thoughts we encounter are motivating and positive. At the same time, unfortunately, 80% to 90% of our mind chatter is negative. And what happens is, it is a continuous anxious thoughts. What if it happens like this way? What if it doesn't work out? So we are like continuously carrying this negative mind chatter. And what it leads to is that we land up in depression, extreme sadness, or it even takes us to a panic attack. So that is what negative chatter does.
Actually, the one example that comes to my mind for negative mind chatter is in this COVID times, we hear of people who are in our circle who are always, you're hearing somebody's turned positive today.
Yes.
Then you find another friend is turned positive. And then your mind starts going into a chatter of, would I have been infected? Would I have infected my family members?
Yes.
Would my maid have been infected?
Yeah.
And that is the constant worrying factor that puts you into the negative mind chatter.
Yes.
So now that we know what is mind chatter and mind chatter being positive and negative and both, where exactly does it originate from?
There are actually 3 different areas in our life where this mind chatter is connected to. These are the 3 important areas. The first one being our past experiences. So whatever we have encountered in the past, maybe we've been bullied or we went through a major failure or we've been teased in public. So all those memories and the emotions that we have gone through in the past keeps popping up when we are dealing with something in the present. Like right now, if we are being called for a public, representing a public gathering, what happens is and we have encountered a teasing in the earlier, in our maybe in our childhood or in our college days, what happens is all those memories keep popping up, and mind starts chattering continuously. Will this work out? Will it be a flop?
Will I get bullied again?
Will I get bullied again? Will the people laugh at me? So this will stop us from going forward, and it will hinder our confidence to face the public. So past experience is one factor. Secondly, a sudden trauma or an uncalculated happening that it happens in the present. For example, maybe we lost a loved one, so it's a shock. At the same time, or we are going through some trauma in the present, sudden trauma which was uncalculated. So that again creates a lot of chattering. What will happen? What will I do next? Will something happen? Will the person survive? Will the person survive? Or what should I do? How is my future going to be from today? So continuous chattering happens. And third, it is one of the important point, that is the values and ethics we carry, we have learned from our childhood. The issue with teaching values, what we do is generally when we teach values and ethics, impart these things to children, what we generally do is we add some consequence to it. So as a child, I've been told that I need to obey the elders. I've been told that I need to be honest. So just by telling that, instead of telling only that part, what is happening is some consequence that if you don't obey the elder, fear associated to that. Like if you don't obey to elders, so the society will look down on you. They will criticize your parents. So there is some consequence always attached, which we carry along. And as human, we tend to make mistake. Maybe we lie on certain aspect, or we do some mistake. What happens is the mind starts chattering. This is because now what will people think? What will happen next? Will I be looked down in the front of the society? So all this, the mind chatters in such a way that what will happen now? How am I going to correct this? I should not have done this. This will lead to self-criticism. I should not have done that. This is not the values you've been carrying. So this creates a lot of self-criticism, self-doubts, and we ourselves put ourselves down, our self-worth. So that is the third part.
The third pillar of
mind chatter. Yeah.
Now that we've understood what is mind chatter and whether it's positive, negative, or both, and where exactly does it originate from, let us understand what is self-compassion, and is it related to mind chatter?
Yes, it is indeed related to mind chatter. Self-compassion is nothing but being kind to yourself. What we generally do is we are very kind to others in both our words and actions. For example, if someone make a mistake, or a dear friend make a mistake, which is a major mistake, the first thing is we are very compassionate towards them. We pat them and we say that it's okay to make a mistake. You learn from this. It's fine. I'm there with you. So our words are very kind, and we are very empathetic too. But on the other hand, if we make a mistake, the first thing comes is self-criticism. Why did I do that? I should not have done that. We should have done this should have been done in a better way. So we keep criticizing ourselves in such a way that we land up in extreme emotions. We land up in sadness. We land up in insecurity. We are ashamed of ourselves. So this creates a lot of mind chatter, because this continuous thinking is happening and this thoughts are of criticism. So this is when self-compassion plays a major role. So be compassionate to yourself. Keep telling kind words to yourself. It's okay. I'm also a human. It's okay for me to make a mistake. It's okay if I've gone through this. I will pull myself out. So we need to be very kind in our words, in our thoughts, when it comes to ourselves.
So it boils down to the fact that, when we are being harsh, if we are being harsh on ourselves, then who's going to be good to us?
Yes.
So that's why self-compassion is very important to mind chatter.
Yes, and that creates positive thoughts.
Yes. That gave us a lot of information about mind chatter and self compassion. Now, the last and final question that I have is, can you give us a few tips on how to handle this mind chatter?
The primary one, the most important one is being self-aware, being aware of your thoughts. So you need to be always cautious. You need to be thinking about what you are thinking. And catch those thoughts from the starting.
Nip it in the bud.
Nip it in the bud, yes. So you are always aware of your thoughts. So that awareness will allow you to identify whether the thought is positive or negative.
Okay.
So once, if you think that this continuous negative mind chatter is happening, thoughts are recurring, then you are aware, and if you are aware about it, the next thing we can do is it's easy for us to anchor it. So if there is continuous thoughts happening, so suddenly anchoring is nothing but telling it giving it a halt. Like tell yourself stop. So when you tell yourself stop, what happens? You are jerked from that thought. And only if you're self-aware you can anchor it. That is it is the continuity. Then when you anchor it, immediately when you say a stop, what happens is then it will give you a platform to think logically. And logical reasoning happens only when your emotions are controlled, are managed. So what happens is when we start thinking logically, we start exploring alternatives. We start thinking that whether is this thoughts helping me or is it destroying me? Is there any better thought I can replace it with? Or is it necessary that I think this way, this moment? Is it necessary to think in this moment like this? Or because the situation is something, maybe this might happen or might not happen in the future. But it's the thoughts that is making us miserable. So this will help us to analyze those thoughts. Then it is like, again, we can identify whether the thoughts are our own thoughts or is it borrowed. Like as you said, the COVID example, somebody's experience of going through COVID might be very bad. So what happens is they come and tell you that this is what happened to me, this is how I went through, I was in the ICU, I had a very tough time. But when our own loved one get infected, what happens is we tend to think that this is what exactly is going to happen to me.
We are comparing it with somebody else's
story. Yes. So our thoughts are completely anxious. What will happen? Will I have to go through this same thing? Will I land in ICU? Will I lose this person? Actually, those are thoughts which is borrowed from somebody else's experience. So we need to be aware of that. Then is taking actions. Taking action is, there are many ways we can take which helps our mind, like breathing exercises, being mindful. So all these actions can help us to calm down, be at peace, analyze the thoughts. So actions should be taken, and the important point about action is it should be taken when we are generally in a good condition. What happens is we take action when we are in midst of the crisis. So generally when there is a well-being, we are living in a peaceful mindset, that's the time we'll start doing meditations, do breathing exercises, and this will help us in the long run. So when a crisis comes, we are prepared to face it.
Yes.
That is how we take actions.
Yes. The one example that comes to my mind is of a child who's throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
So when the child is throwing a tantrum, you can't talk logic to the child because the child is not listening to you. So the child, for me, I can relate to, is the mind chatter. And you actually need to put a stop to the child and say, stop it right now.
Yes.
And that's when you stop it, which is you saying stop the mind chatter and then anchoring it. And then once you have a calmer child, you're able to start talking about the logical points of it.
Yeah.
And then you are able to handle the child better. You're able to show the child who was throwing a tantrum 5 minutes ago about why he can't get what he wants and why you think it is like that. And that is when the child is more open to listening to your point of view.
Yeah. And child starts exploring other ways.
Yes.
Different other ways too.
Yes.
Alternative ways.
Yes. So that was our Mind Chatter session today, and we hope that it was enlightening and you caught up with all that you missed with us on the talk show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.